But we have to come to this, where Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula had announced strict regulations for public transport, for border crossings, as well as railway operations. And our reporter Bateman is on the ground checking the various blockades. And he joins us live now from the Carousel Toll Plaza. Very good afternoon. We've just, spoken to Mawande right now, and it seems that, some South Africans are trying to maneuver their way to go against regulations, using their work permits right now to try and, be part of traffic and being on the road. But from where you're standing, I mean, what do you see? Any activity so far?
Well, I'm here at the border between Gauteng and Limpopo, and there is a roadblock here at this side of the Carousel Toll Plaza, and there's another one on the other side, each, dealing with the traffic either going north or going south. What we've noticed over here, firstly, is a group of people, a group of Zimbabweans, who are the victims of circumstance, I suppose you could say. Their bus has broken down. It has been here since yesterday afternoon. They say they want to go to Zimbabwe, but with the lockdown that's come into effect, they're being stopped right here. They can't even get into Limpopo. But they've got the situation where they say they can't even go back because they've got no money for transport. Some of them have arranged, people have come and picked them up, but I'll just step away and you can have a look at the situation. They're stuck in a bus. All their belongings are out. The bus is going nowhere. The police aren't allowing them to go any further. And it certainly is a difficult situation. Some of them are adamant that they want to go home. They insist on being let through. But as you've heard from, as you just said there, Minister Fikile Mbalula, the lockdown is in place. There is not going to be any movement. But if I ask him, our cameraman, to move just slightly or to show just to the right, you'll actually see where the police are conducting the checks of the people that want to go through this toll gate. What they're asking trucks is for a permit. They've got to have a particularly stamped permit, which would give them permission to be transporting a certain goods that is allowed through. We've actually seen several large trucks, articulated vehicles. When the drivers are unable to produce the permits that are required, they get turned around and they get sent back towards Gauteng, as well as some of the cars that have stopped. The people aren't able to provide valid reason for them going from one province to the other, and they're promptly turned around at this toll gate. So it's quite clear that we're seeing the police doing what is expected of them. They're not taking any excuses from people. The regulations are in place and they are enforcing them.
Yeah, that's good to see, Barry, that there's enforcement, and also the enforcement is flexible enough to allow for what is allowable within this period of the lockdown, such as the movement of goods that are needed and those sectors that were to be exempt from those travel restrictions. But one also imagines, from a humanity perspective, those people that are sitting there on the side of the road must be enduring a bit of discomfort at this point. They've been there for several hours, you tell us.
That's quite right. They've been here overnight. Their vehicle broke down here yesterday. So as I've said, we have seen some taxis that have come from Gauteng side and have stopped here. Some people have got on, but there is this sense that, from some of them that, through persistence, they might be allowed to continue with their journey somehow. They insist on the bus company that must pay for them. That is apparently not happening. But this is where it's got to. Like I said, they're an unfortunate victim of the circumstance. And I think it's quite clear that they're not going to be allowed to continue with their journey, and they will be forced to go back from wherever it is that they came, whether through lifts asking people to come pick them up or through taxi services. We do understand that there have been talks to the police here. We're not too sure if the police are actually trying to help get some service to come and pick them up, to take them back to perhaps Pretoria, a main centre. But for now, they're going to be spending a significant amount of time right here.
All right then, Bateman, ENCA reporter, thank you so much for that update. We're seeing there, of course, quite a bit of frustration coming from some Zimbabwean, foreign nationals who seem to be stuck on their way home. I mean, this also, besides the fact that there's been, advice and information being given by the government to Lasizwe that everyone stay where they are.